postmenopausal hormone, postmenopausal hormone therapy, and alcohol. These are all increase the risk. Okay. So some risk factors are uncontrollable. We cannot control the genes. We cannot modify our genes. But some risk factors are controllable. Basically, lifestyle-related risk factors can be controlled, and that should be checked. So lifestyle-related risk factors can be controlled. So staying healthy, eating healthy food, having weight in check, be physically active, and limit the alcohol. These are all the things that can lower the risk of breast cancer. So I like this diagram a lot, as the household items get slimmer. See, our TVs are slimmer, our cell phones are slimmer, the people get fatter. So as I discussed already, obesity increases the risk of breast cancer, along with our bad eating habits, physical inactivity, smoking. That all increases the risk of getting cancer, as well as lung disease, diabetes, heart, and stroke. So getting a healthy lifestyle is an eminent important. Eating healthy food and physically activity increases the well-being and decreases the risk of getting breast cancer. Breastfeeding and regular health checkups also decreases the risk of getting breast cancer or getting this cancer detected at early stage. How breast cancer spreads? Breast cancer spreads from mainly blood vessels and lymphatic systems. So if you can see in the diagram, there are some lymph nodes here and there. So surrounding this breast, these are the lymph nodes that carries the cancer to the distant organs. So lymph nodes are the important things to look for in the screening. Now coming to what are the signs and symptoms. So first and foremost, every woman should recognize a breast, how her normal breast looks like, So they should be aware of what are the changes happening at early stage. So woman should be doing her self-breast examination frequently, once in every month, to be aware of what are the normal breasts and what are the changes that are happening inside. But still, while knowing what are the importance, but it cannot eliminate the clinical breast examination and mammography. So even if you're doing self-breast examination monthly, you still need to do mammography, and you still need to do breast clinical examination with a consultant. Now, breast self-examination is to be performed monthly, and this is to have an idea of good breast health and detect anything that can happen at an early stage. So when breast cancer is detected at early stage, the chances of survival are much better. So what are the steps of? I'll explain simple things. What are the steps? First is visual. You have to do visual inspection, then manual examination while standing, and manual examination while lying down. So these are the three steps. And if you find any lump, you have to stay calm, because all lumps, as I said, are not cancers. So if you have any lump in the examination, don't panic, because you might have a benign lesion, most likely. So most of the lumps are not cancers. So these are the things how you should do breast self-examination. With your arm relaxed, look in the mirror, just do an inspection whether both breasts are equal, whether there is any inequality, whether there is any visually lump is seen, whether there is any skin abnormality, whether there is any nipple abnormality, whether nipple is inverted, retracted, whether there is a skin thickening, whether there is an ulcer. So these are the inspection. Then you do a palpation with your hands. First with your hands on your hips and pressing it, and then with your hands behind your head. So in both this position, you should do a breast examination one by one, and with the tips of your finger, you should feel from one side to the other side and doing a circular motion. So that will cover whole breast. You may less likely to miss anything. And lastly, you should lie down in the cushion, and then after lying down, repeat this full breast examination as you did standing. And at the end, you place a thumb and press the areola and look for any nipple discharge. Nipple discharge is sometimes one of the earliest signs. So all this is the steps, and it hardly takes 1 or 2 minutes. So who should have? Is there any particular time in the month? So women who are still menstruating should perform self-breast examination after the periods. And those who are menopausal can have any time in their month, but they should fix a date that, okay, I'll do on first of every month. So in menstruating women, after the periods are over, you should do a self-examination every month. What are the signs of breast cancer and what to look for? So as I said, you should look for any lump, you should look for any swelling, any thickening, any dimpling in the skin or any skin ulcer, any pain. You should look for any redness, scaliness, nipple discharge, or overall changes in the size of breast, or if the one breast is swollen comparing to the other. So these are the things to look for, and we check for the nipple discharge also. So this is the lump, this is the skin changes. As I said, you raise your hand and look for anything inside your axilla. So there is a lump, this is an enlarged lymph node in the axilla. This is the skin changes. If the skin becomes thick and puckered, it could be an early sign of breast cancer. Then dimpling anywhere, ulcers, or any change in the texture. See, one breast is elevated compared to other, so change in the texture, or skin scaliness. This kind of picture can happen in breast cancer. So breast cancer found in the screening. As I said, you should not get panicked. Most lumps found in the screening are likely to be benign, and even if they are malignant, you have screened it. If you are detected by yourself, it is more likely to be an early cancer. So all women should have screening with mammography after 40. So what are the screening tests? First and foremost is the mammogram. Mammogram is an X-ray. Basically, it's an X-ray with a 3-dimension to look for anything inside the breast. It's a 3-dimensional X-ray, digital X-ray that is used for screening. It is not a diagnostic tool. It is for screening. And what are the frequency of doing mammography? In Western world, it is recommended that every year after 40, women should do mammography. And here in India, we recommend at least every 2 years, women should have mammography. But again, I said mammography doesn't eliminate the risk. So even if you have mammography, you should do self-breast examination every month. Next comes the ultrasound. Some breasts are very dense, and mammography is not very effective in very dense breast. So in that cases, ultrasound is a tool to diagnose any lump, anything inside. If there is a lump, then biopsy or fine needle aspiration is what is needed to check for any cellular pathology, and that is a definitive way of, this is a diagnostic tool. A biopsy from a lump, a needle biopsy, or a cut biopsy. And next is breast MRI. So in a very high suspicious cases, in a very high risk woman, say for example, woman had a breast cancer in one breast. So in that case, she need a breast MRI to look for, MRI is a very sensitive tool. It detects even the smallest pathology. So MRI is used mainly in a case who had very high risk of breast cancer, especially those who have cancer in one breast. Now staging, once you have a diagnosis of breast cancer, you need to go through staging. So staging is a process in which you are done with some other tests to see how severe and how cancer has been spread all over the body. So staging is important. So staging needs with blood test, of course mammography, MRI, bone scan, CT scan, and PET scan. So these are the tests to see for any distant spread of the cancer, maybe in bones, maybe in lungs, maybe in some other abdominal organs. So to look for distant spread, we need to do a staging of the breast cancer. And as I said, the awareness is important because if the breast cancer is detected early, in an early stage, the chances of survival improves drastically. There are some tumor markers for breast cancer. Though tumor markers are not there to screen, but these are the blood tests to check for progress of the breast cancer. Those who are under treatment, so they should have they should check the progress of their treatment with the tumor markers. Tumor markers gradually decreases as the treatment progresses. But the disadvantage is that these lack the specificity. So they have no value in screening the method. These are mainly to check the progress of the response and monitor the response of the therapy. So the main other things are steroid receptors, hormone receptors. These are the markers to check whether the hormonal treatment will be required or not. So if you have a estrogen progesterone receptors positive, hormone treatment will work. So staging is from 0 to 4. 0 is non-invasive in situ cancer and 4 is the metastatic cancer. So breast cancer diagnosed with the screening is most likely a stage 0 or stage 1 cancer, and they have very high prognosis, good prognosis, and 5-year survival rates are very good. So coming to the treatment, there are many things, there are surgeries, there are radiotherapy, there are chemotherapy, there are immunotherapy. So one can get confused, but the treatment depends on what stage and what grade of the tumor is. So all are not same. There are different treatment for different women according to their severity and according to their receptor status. So some women may require additional chemotherapy, hormone therapy, or radiation therapy after surgery, and chemotherapy may be used in some cases even before the surgery. So basically the treatment stands with the surgery, removing of the tumor, removing of the entire breast, removing of the lymph nodes, or removing of both breasts. Depending on, some cancer may are very localized and very small. In that case, we just remove the tumor and breast can be preserved. And in some case, the whole breast needs to be removed. And as I said, there are adjuvant things like radiation, chemotherapy, hormone therapy, immunotherapy, and in some case, palliative supportive therapy. After surgery, women may require rehabilitation, like she may be sent to a plastic surgery department for implants or some reconstructive surgery. So women can get an artificial breast implants after removal of the breast. Now, reducing the risk is a vital important. As I said, having a healthy lifestyle, keeping the weight in check, keeping the alcohol intake to a minimum, and doing a very regular screening and self-examination can reduce the risk drastically and improves the detection rate. Some other things are, as I said, the hormone medicines like estrogen receptor modulators and aromatase inhibitors. These are some medications that can reduce the risk of getting breast cancer. And those women who have a very high risk of getting breast cancer because of their inheritance of the gene, they can get prophylactic mastectomy. There are, in Western worlds, there are women who are diagnosed that they have this positive gene, BRCA, mainly BRCA gene, and those who are BRCA gene positive, they can go for a prophylactic mastectomy even before the breast cancer starts, and they can have implants later on. So prophylactic bilateral mastectomy is a radical step, but that can be chosen to eliminate the risk of getting breast cancer, along with prophylactic oophorectomy, because BRCA gene can cause breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So prophylactic mastectomy and prophylactic oophorectomy can be done if you have a positive BRCA genes. I think I can finish this talk now. Our aim of this presentation was to create awareness that breast cancer can be cured if can be diagnosed in an early stage, the importance of doing self-breast examination, the importance of yearly mammography, at least, if not yearly, twice in every 2 years. Having a light on some myths and correction with their facts, and creating awareness in the society. Breast cancer once happened, it stays with you. It stays in your mind that, okay, I had a cancer, and it creates a very bad psychological impact on the patient. And as we know, because of the increasing treatment now, the breast cancer survivors are there. In every family, if you look, there are at least one woman who is a breast cancer survivor. So the breast cancer survivors need to be motivated. They need to get yearly checkup, even though they have conquered the battle or war against their cancer. They still need to fight. They still need to get a regular examination, yearly health checkups. And one more thing, creating awareness. We need to create a group of society who can share their cases, who can share their experiences with their disease, and who can share the support to new women or those who have diagnosed with cancer. Those who have survived or those who have won the battle against cancer should make an example, and they should share their experiences. One should create a groups in the society, in the WhatsApp or in social media, to increase the awareness of the breast cancer. They should make financial fundings. Today in India, I think a government hospital provides free of cost radical breast cancer surgeries. But yeah, we need to do more. Because chemotherapy and radiotherapy are very expensive things, and finance plays an important role. So we need to provide concessions, or we need to fundraising things should be done for cancer patients to have money for their cancer treatment. So this is the thing. This is the awareness I wanted to share. Being a consultant and gynecologist, we do see a lot of patients with lump in breast, pain in breast, sometimes even discharge from nipples. But as I said, don't need to get panic. Visit your consultant. You don't need to treat yourself every time. You need to go to consultant when you have some problem. So doing a self-breast examination routinely, at least once in a month. And if you find anything, you go and visit a doctor, visit a consultant, get yourself a mammography, get yourself a sonography, whatever is available, and screen yourself. This is the baseline. Every woman after 40 should have at least mammography every 2 years. And self-breast examination should be started as early as even 30 years of age. So some cases of breast cancer can start even in very early age. So we never know what can happen. And I would like to, at the end, I would like to thank Medizoc for providing me an opportunity. And as I said, Medizoc is a new company who is providing an online consultation. So you can consult me through Medizoc. You can book an appointment, and we are here for video consultation, or you can come to New Life Women's Hospital and visit in person. Thank you. I think, Vaishnavi, that is it.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a very informative session, and hope everyone has been going through they have listened many myths and they have known the facts today. The floor is open for the question answers. If anyone have any question or any doubt or want to ask to the doctor, it is open. Anyone?
Vaishnavi, I do have.
Yes,
questions.
Yes,
Just a second. Good evening, Jatin sir.
Yes, good evening.
Actually, my question is related to the treatment of this disease. As in, can you just guide us, or let us know that how much is the ideal cost for treating one patient of who's suffering with breast cancer?
Cost is it depends, because what our aim is, we want the insurance company to cover the full cost. We want insurance company to cover surgery, we want insurance to company the chemo, we want everything, because insurance companies are right now not covering the full therapy, full things. But the cost, it depends on your choice. You have you have a trust hospitals here in Ahmedabad. We have a Cancer Society, GCRI, who are offering a very good treatment and all good medicines at a very budgeted, very low cost. So it is up to you what you opt for. You can go for a corporate hospitals, and we can't control the corporate hospitals. So one more agenda is to fix the cost. Right now there is no cap. There is no cap for anything for surgery. So corporates can charge according to their wish. But our we can make a group, and we can create that awareness that the breast cancer surgeries, or in that case any cancer surgeries, needs to be capped for the cost, and insurance companies should cover universally all cancers and all treatment.
Okay.
Sir, may I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Rupkatha Banerjee from Rotaract Club of George School of Law. May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Sir, can a woman over the age of 80 has breast cancer?
80.
Yes, sir.
You said 80. 80.
Yes, sir. 80.
Yes, she can. As age advances, the breast cancer risk increases. Of course, she should have a self-breast examination, and she should have at least twice in a year, every 2 year mammography, because 80 years, the risk is still there. As age advances, the risk increases.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Anyone?
else?
Vaishnavi?
Vaishnavi, we have a question in the chat box. I'll just read it out. The question is from Pankaj. There is a myth that excessive screening and X-rays increases the chances of cancer. Is it true?
No. Mammography is completely safe. Sonography is devoid of any radiation. MRI is devoid of any radiation. So doing a screening will not increase any risk of getting cancer. It is a pure myth, and you should do a screening.
Okay. Pankaj, is your question answered? We also have one more question from Twisha. Intake of synthetic hormones and medicines like Maprate causes breast pain. Like benign lumps are formed. So is it safe to take such medicines?
Yeah, Maprate, and in that case, any hormonal treatment, any hormonal, maybe on contraceptive, a PCOD treatment, they can cause. They are mainly used for treating benign lumps and benign fibromyalgia. So they will not increase any risk of getting breast cancer. Yeah, but taking hormone replacement therapy, mainly after menopause. After menopause, some women, because of their whatever reason, they take hormones, and that hormone replacement therapy increases the risk. But again, self-medication is not good. So taking medicines by yourself, whatever the medicine is not good. If your family said, okay, I took a Maprate last month and it was good for me, but you should not do it every time. You should take medicine only by the consultant. Of course, that will not increase your risk of getting cancer, but that will cause some other damages.
Twisha, I hope it answers your question. If you have any other question, you can ask me. Yes, she has asked further. Okay, sir. So the breast pain after taking such medicines is because of hormonal imbalance? Question mark.
Yes.
Okay.
But you should go for a consultant. If you have a problem, you should go for a consultant. and you should do a self breast examination for anything. Pain is also one of the things to look for. So if you have pain in breast and that is persistent, sometimes some women have cyclic pain, cyclic myalgia. We call it cyclic myalgia, and it is mainly a hormone. And it also requires a treatment, but not by self-medication. You could get a treatment with a consultant, and often that is not against, but it still requires a treatment.
Trisha, does that answers your question? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Trisha. I have one more question. I mean, it's not a question, but it's kind of a concern. As you mentioned while you were speaking, you mentioned that late pregnancy or breastfeeding, it might increase the chance of breast cancer, right?
Breastfeeding decreases the chance. If you have never breastfed, the chances increase, because basically it increases the exposure of estrogen. When you breastfed, your estrogen level goes down. Once you have pregnancy, your estrogen level goes down. So if you never had a pregnancy, if you never had a breastfeeding, your body estrogen keeps on increase in that period. Once you're pregnant, your hormones of estrogen goes down till 9 months, and if you breastfed, it further goes down for another 4-5 months. So that excess estrogen happens those who are not pregnant or those who never have breastfeeding, and those who had a pregnancy at very late age, say for example at 35 years. So up till 35 years of age, she had a continuous exposure of estrogens. So if you have pregnancy, for example, 25 years, you had a break in your estrogen exposure at 25 years for at least 1 year. So that protects you. So if you have a baby at 35 years, it carries an increased risk comparing to a baby at 25 years.
Okay, so is it advisable for women to have early pregnancy in their life to avoid this risk of breast cancer?
I'll not say early, but yeah, avoiding late pregnancies. Avoiding a very late pregnancy is advisable. And if you have a risk, nowadays there are screening, especially those who have family history of breast cancer should get a screening of BRCA gene. If you have a BRCA gene positive, you can get cancer. You are at a little higher risk. If you are obese, if you're drinking alcohol, if you have diabetes, if you have a family history of cancer, and if you have a BRCA gene positive, you have a little higher risk of getting breast cancer. And then you should do all these things. You should have more aggressive screening. You should have early pregnancy. You should have more breastfeeding intervals. And in a very drastic way, in Western world, one can opt for prophylactic mastectomy. Those who have a very high risk of breast cancer, they can opt for prophylactic mastectomy. Not in our case, but yeah, you need to do aggressive screening. Those who have a little higher risk. But again, universal screening is what is needed. Mammography after 40, self-breast examination at any age. I can say when I'm 30 years, one should do a self-breast examination.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We have one more question from Trisha again. She's asking, after breastfeeding, if someone is experiencing pain in the breast, what can be the possible reasons for that?
If you are breastfeeding, most likely it is because of the milk that has been accumulated. Most likely that is because of the exaggerated milk secretion, and that causes lump. But yeah, it cannot be cured telephonically. It needs an examination. So it has to do a personal consultant checkup to look for any lump, to look for anything pathological. Most likely with the breast milk breastfeeding, it is because of the lumps of milk that forms and causes pain.
Thank you so much, sir. Does anyone have any other question? You may unmute yourself, or you can ask in the, you can write in the chat box. We'll read it out for you.
Hello.
Yes, Gaurav.
Hi, Jatan sir.
Yeah, hi.
So I'm Protractor Gaurav Chimpi, and I have a question. Like, what is the basic ratio of having breast cancer in men and women? Is there any like ratio you have faced till now, or any specific case you want to talk about where you have faced like
Men.
breast cancer
Breast
in
cancer
men?
in men. Excuse me. You're talking about breast cancer in men?
Yes, yes.
See, in men, the breasts are not developed. So diagnosing in a male is very easy because because of developed breast in women, the cancer is hidden. It remains hidden in the tissue of breast, and it is noted very late. In male, because the breasts are not developed, so the cancer can be detected very early stage. It doesn't require any screening. It doesn't require any anything routine health checkup because the breasts are not developed. Anything happens can be noted very early stage. But yeah, the incidence in male is very low. If we can compare, it is very. There are no data of male breast cancers available. But yeah, the comparing to the women, we can say almost 95 to 96% of the cancers in the breast are in women. Maybe 4% or so in male. But yeah, there are cases of male breast cancer also.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Maybe some skin cancer. Some skin cancer can start in that region because of some male having that heat because of their occupation. They are getting melanoma or some skin related. So if there is a skin cancer, it is not considered as a breast cancer.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to call now Mr. Hansit Patel, who is the founder of Medizoc. He will share some few words with us. Over to you, Hansit.
Hi Vaishnavi. Hello everyone. This is Hansit here. First of all, I'd like to thank Ruprek Club for giving us a great opportunity, as well as Jatan sir for conducting a very mindful session with all of us. I hope everyone have learned, new things regarding breast cancer, and it was a very great session, sir. We all enjoyed it and we learned something new. It was a very great session. Thank you everyone.
Hansit, you can drop that application link. So if anyone want to do a consultancy or any of the doctor or guidance, they can download and can connect with the doctors.